Dry aging steaks. It's one of my favorite things to do. I've dry aged boneless ribeye, bone-in ribeye, even filet mignon. And the best part is, you can do it at home. With the assistance of a special membrane bag called an Umai Bag, which allows you to safely dry age at home by removing the moisture of the meat and not allowing anything to come in. It's a very simple method, and in this particular case, we're dry aging a 45-day prime boneless ribeye. And here goes the first cut. We just elevated an amazing prime ribeye steak to a whole nother level, thanks to the dry aging. Just look at that marbling. Is dry aging really that big of a deal? Well, in today's video, we're going to compare a 45-day dry aged steak to a 35-day dry aged steak. But first, we have to prepare them. We need to trim off the outer hard skin that developed during dry aging. It's called the pellicle. It's not very good, and I highly recommend you trim off every little piece. By the way, how are you guys liking this video so far? I'd really appreciate it if you guys subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit that like button and the notification bell so you get notified on my next video. I'd really appreciate it. Alright, back to the steak. I'm going to wrap my steak in butcher's twine or butcher's string, and this gives a nice even shape and consistency for when you're cooking the steak, because we want to get that perfect medium rare. I'm going to season with salt, pepper, and garlic, and make sure you season both sides and get the edges. That's extremely important. Now normally I would add thyme and rosemary, but I'm not going to do that this time because I want to be able to distinguish the subtle notes and flavors between 35 days and 45 days. Also, as an FYI, the 45-day dry aged ribeye is going to keep that fat tail at the end. That's how we're going to be able to distinguish them between each other. Now these are pretty thick steaks, so I'm going to let them absorb the seasoning for about 10 to 15 minutes or so. And for that perfect medium rare temperature, I'm going to be monitoring the internal temperatures of each steak with my Meter Plus probe, which is a wireless thermometer, and you need to slide it up to that notch so you're getting an accurate reading of the internal temperature and allowing the transmitter to communicate with the receiver by sticking out some. That's basically it. Now we're ready to fire up the grill.
Snow, red sky, reach up for so high, blue eyes, fake cry, beware of the fox tonight. Cold feet, dark rain, my blood in your frozen veins, dream high, no pain, run fast in the broken chains.
I'm going to be using the reverse sear method, which basically means the ribeyes are first going to get cooked by indirect heat, and then we're going to sear them at the end. So while that's happening, let's prepare some sides. I'm going to make some mashed potatoes and Brussels sprouts. Remove the end of your Brussels sprouts and then cut them in half, and then we want to go ahead and peel the outer layers because those are kind of the hard bits. There's so many ways to make Brussels sprouts, but today we're going to make breaded Parmesan baked Brussels sprouts. We're going to grab about 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. We're going to grab about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, some Parmesan grated cheese, and we're going to season with black pepper. Next, we're going to go ahead and hand mix everything together. We want to make sure that each of the Brussels sprouts are completely coated with olive oil before we throw in the breadcrumbs. This is a really easy recipe that elevates your basic Brussels sprouts into this crispy Parmesan delicious mess. Go ahead and put everything in the oven, and we're going to go ahead and bake these at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 minutes. Our steak just reached an internal temperature of 120 degrees, so now it's time to sear. Things were really starting to fire up back there. But as you can see, the steak has an amazing crust and it's super juicy. And this is how everything turned out. Okay, let's bring this home. 45-day dry-aged ribeye versus a 35-day dry-aged ribeye. Here's my thoughts. So this is the 35 days prime dry-aged ribeye, and over here is going to be the 45-day prime dry-aged ribeye. So they're both prime, but we got a 45 and we got a 35. The 45, as you can see, was kind of falling apart. It's still tender, so I used the reverse sear method on these. Both of them are cooked medium rare. The Brussels sprouts look amazing. I'm gonna try both of them out for you guys. I mean, I've done this a million times, so I know exactly how they taste. For those of you guys that are just starting off, you're probably wondering, like, you know, what's the big deal with dry aged, right? Why is it so raved about, and why is it so expensive at restaurants, right? Well, dry aged does like two main things. It really tenderizes the meat. Essentially, we'll take a not so great steak and elevate it to a pretty good steak, or an amazing steak like a prime steak, prime ribeye. And then the second thing that dry aging does is it really enhances that meat flavor. So the more that you dry age it, the more like an intense meat flavor that you're gonna get. And then you also get like subtle notes of things. So you'll get, like, for example, subtle notes of maybe like nuts, or subtle notes of like a really beefy, grassy taste. It's not gamey. It's just like, imagine a steak that's enhanced. If you dry age it long enough, you'll get like a really subtle note of like, it's hard to describe. Everybody gets something different, but like maybe like a nut or an almond. It's just like nutty taste. I can't quite put my finger on it. You gotta try it for yourself. So for first timers, you guys are probably wondering, well, how long should I dry age my steak? Restaurants consider dry aged 28 days. And I think 28 days is way too subtle. You're not really going to taste much of a difference. You'll taste something, like very, very little. I really think minimum, if you're going to spend the money, you know, definitely get at least choice grade. And if you can, get prime. And I would go at the minimum 35 days, right? So 35 days at a minimum would be a good idea for your first time. And then when you can, try 45 days and see which one you like. Personally, for me, I don't go above 45. I think 45 is like a perfect middle ground where you're not having too much loss. Because, you know, when you dry age, that initial shell, that disgusting looking shell, is not edible. You got to toss that. So you're going to get a lot of loss. I think 45 is my limit. At 60, for me, I start tasting this like kind of like cheesy taste. It's very subtle on the 45 day, but at 60, it's kind of like pronounced. And I think that's the limit for me. Like, nothing wrong with it. I can definitely enjoy it once in a while, but not get a huge roast and eat that day in and day out. So with the 35-day dry aged, you're gonna get a nice nutty beefy taste. With the 45 days, that cheesy like fermented kind of almost fermented taste will be a little bit more pronounced. Like I'm talking about very, very little. Like you'll really have to close your eyes and you'll get it at the like very end. Both of them are going to be super tender. So if you're starting off, start off with the 35-day dry aged, and then definitely do a 45 and see which one you like. You might even like a 60. That being said, let's try it out. So this one's going to be the 35-day dry aged, and I'm going to get like a very, very like end. 35 days dry aged. The crust on it's so good. It's so good. It's so tender. You get this like beefy taste, and oh my god! If there wasn't a crust, it would just melt like butter. Let's try the 45-day. So for the 45-day, I got the fat at the very end, and it was really like literally it was like disintegrating. So. I mean, look at that. When you cut into it, it's just like, you don't even need a knife. That's how crazy it is. Jeez. All right. Here we go. 45-day dry-aged ribeye. It's so freaking good. I mean, again, with the 45-day, beefier, like this kind of like earthy taste, like grassy taste. And I'm not getting much of a, like a, it's so hard to describe. It's not a cheese taste. It's like this, like, after, I'm not getting that. I'm definitely getting like a nutty taste. It's good. Honestly, I'm happy with these two. I'm happy with the 35 and the 45. You're probably thinking 10 days, really. Is that going to make a difference? Yeah, it makes a big difference. At 28 days, again, I don't think you're getting much. If you're going to go all in, you know, you want a steak that's going to be like way different than a typical steak you're going to get from the grocery store. So do at least 35. Trust me, you're going to like it. Let's try the Brussels sprouts. I've been like eyeing these. That's a great compliment to the steak. Highly recommend you guys try these. And you can have fun with Brussels sprouts. You can make them like buttery, saute them. Parmesan, you can, I mean, I know people like wrap them in bacon. You know, you can throw garlic on it. I mean, you can do so much. And then, of course, mashed potatoes. All right. My wife couldn't make it for the filming of this, but, you know, she's going to eat two. I'm not going to eat both of these. So actually putting our daughter down. It's nap time right now. The cook took a lot longer than I thought while, you know, filming it and everything. But, yeah, she's going to be out here and we're going to enjoy our meal now. So, look, I'm going to probably destroy this all on my own. So that's it, guys. I'm done for today. Try dry aging. You're going to love it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great one. Because I know I am. See you guys. Hey there. Did you like that video? If you did, I'd really appreciate your help. See, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And if you can subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you get notified of my next video, I'd really appreciate it. And if you could share with your family and friends, that would help a lot. Thanks, guys. I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a great day.